Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. We meet on our floor again because this is a very uncomfortable angle. But today in this video I want to talk about compressors. I already have videos about the entire kit that you would need for your bench test preparation, but a lot of people ask me what compressor is the best for bench test prep, and it's kind of weird to send them to this half-an-hour video where they have to sift through stuff that they don't need. So I decided to make a separate video all about just compressors. It's a very popular subject, so let's get right into it. Basically, you have two options. This is an air-driven compressor and an electric micromotor right here. Both of these will do the job. First, I want to talk about the air-driven compressor. This is the most popular thing to buy. It is very loud. I have shown it in action before in my compressor setup for bench test preparation, but I just want to talk a little bit about specifics about this compressor. So basically, this is a 1-gallon compressor. It does not matter which compressor exactly you would like to purchase. There are plenty of different firms that make them. There are plenty of different sizes of them, but 1 gallon is more than you need. If you can find one that's smaller and cheaper, go for it. You really don't need, this is too much for you. You will have to dial it down eventually, so do not worry, find the cheapest one you can. This particular compressor is from California Air Tools. It is marketed as quiet. It's not that quiet, but nonetheless, it's from California Air Tools. As of now, it costs $111. So the thing about this compressor, you can't just buy the only thing as the compressor. You have to buy additional things to connect to it so you could actually practice for your bench test. If you're going the air-driven way, you'll have to buy 3 different things. First is the air compressor. Second is this dental unit that is attached to the compressor. And third is the handpiece. Now I would like to talk a little bit about Micromotor. So Micromotor is kind of my thing. I haven't seen anybody purchase Micromotors before on the internet or recommend Micromotors. It's kind of my thing. We had Micromotors in my school because we didn't have a separate room for practicing dentistry. We had Micromotors, and that's where I got the idea. Basically, it's a little more difficult to find Micromotors. I had to dig to find them, but I did find a couple different types of them. So the major drawback for this Micromotor is that it doesn't have the foot pedal. Foot pedal is very important when you're just trying to practice the actual clinical environment that you would be undergoing during the bench test. So here, to activate the compressor, you would have to press a button and the burr rotates continuously. It will not stop rotating until you press the button again. So that's a little bit annoying. The plus of this machine is that you don't have to buy anything else aside of it. Only thing that you would have to buy is a handpiece. It comes on this as a mechanic handpiece, but the plus side is that you can buy them together as a bundle. So you buy one thing and you don't have to worry about anything anymore. No additional things that you have to figure out how to connect or buy or ship from other places. So this is a good practical thing to use. Another plus from that, and the biggest difference from this too, is that this beast, the air-driven compressor, is extremely loud. It makes a lot of noise, and I know some people on the internet told me it's pretty quiet for what compressors do. I know, but we do not live on the construction site. We live in apartments where we have children and pets and families and neighbors who do not like to listen to noise. So this compressor would not be your friend if that's your case. This machine doesn't make any noise aside of the rotation of your handpiece. Plus to that, it doesn't even make that handpiece noise, like annoying drilling sound like everybody is afraid of in dental offices. It just spins the burr without any additional noises. So this is very good to use. The only problem with this little machine is that it breaks handpieces like nobody's business. I even broke some of my school issued expensive handpieces with this machine, unfortunately, if you use it a lot. Frankly, if you use any of these machines, eventually you will break your handpiece. I have an example of mechanical handpieces. I feel like majority of schools already switched to mechanical handpieces, and the plus side of these of this machine as well, that it brings you to practicing bench test more closely to the clinical conditions that you would have during your actual bench test. Basically, the weight of the air-driven handpiece and a mechanical handpiece are very different. Mechanic handpiece is much heavier. It gives you a significant difference in how you prep. It takes time to adjust to it. So if you have practiced on mechanical handpiece and you go to a school where they use these kind of handpieces, you will be a little more comfortable and you will have less time of trying to adjust to a new environment. You can just go ahead and do what you know how to do. You cannot do this, but this is kind of hit and miss because some schools still, I'm pretty sure, use air-driven handpieces. BU just this year started using mechanical handpieces. Until this year, they used air-driven handpieces. So both Oklahoma had used mechanical handpieces for a long time. So if you're applying to University of Oklahoma and you're about to undergo the bench test, mechanical handpiece is what you're going to use in the lab. I calculated a price of all of these compressors and units and how much it would cost. I came up to a number that is similar to each other, so it doesn't really matter. Neither of these will help you save money. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you spend a lot of money on application, might as well spend a lot of money on your bench test preparation. But both of them, these 3 parts and this one part, costs about the same. Let me dive into a little bit more in the price of both of these. I pulled all of them up on my computer so I could show you guys, and I will link everything I'm talking about down below. This is the compressor on Amazon page. I will probably insert the picture of it. Right now it costs $111. Plus the unit, the dental unit, I also found on Amazon, and right now it costs $76.99. There's 2-hole and there's 4-hole units. They cost the same. It does not matter which one you buy. Majority of handpieces are 4-hole, and I've seen people recommending 4-hole, but regardless, if you can find these used and it's a 2-hole instead of 4-hole, it does not matter. You can buy either one of those. Let me show you what holes mean, because I was confused at first. So basically, when you attach your handpiece and you separate it from the unit, over here you can find holes. See, these machine has 4 holes. There are the same machines but that have 2 holes. It's not a big deal. Handpiece works pretty much the same. Plus there are little pieces of equipment that you can buy that converts the 2-piece to the 4-piece handpiece. On my personal experience, it's easier to buy 4-hole handpieces. I don't know why even there's a difference. I don't see a difference between them in the work performance, but that's something that you can be confused with a little bit. If you buy your handpiece and it's a 4-hole and you don't know the difference, and your machine is 2-hole, they just would not attach. You will have to buy a separate attachment to make them compatible to each other. So I would recommend just buying a 4-hole unit and a 4-hole handpiece. So as we established, that's $77. Plus handpieces. Handpieces, I would recommend buying a lot regardless which one you buy. So you can't, as I mentioned, you cannot use the same handpieces for both machines if you decide to buy both. Here you need a mechanical one, here you need an air-driven one. Handpieces, buy them in bulk if you can. It's always cheaper to buy your handpieces on eBay. Amazon has some good handpieces, and my best handpiece was Cavo. I would really recommend if you can get your hands on a cheap Cavo handpiece. I loved it. It did burn eventually. Probably during my bench test preparation, I burned 3 handpieces. So this machine broke one really quickly. I bought the one that comes with the package, that comes with the bundle. You can buy them together, and that one burned pretty quickly. I had to buy another one. The compressor burns handpieces faster because it isn't made for dental use. The power on it is pretty quick. I think I burned my first handpieces with this compressor in my first day. The power of this compressor is much stronger than the handpiece can handle. So that burned my handpiece immediately. I made a video on the unit setup, and I talk about how to adjust your compressor so it wouldn't burn your handpiece in my other video, which I will link down below for you. But nonetheless, here I pulled up a link on eBay, and over here, I do not know if you can see this, but these are Cavo handpieces. It says there are 10 of them, which I doubt actually. It says there are 10 for $129. I do not think it's true. I think it's 1 for $129 because that's about how much it costs. So I'm gonna assume for the purposes of this video that 1 Cavo handpiece costs $129, and I would recommend buying at least 3 if you're planning to prep for like 2 months. I will not link this particular link down below because hand pieces, especially on eBay, go really quickly. So I would just recommend going on eBay and putting in the search bar hand pieces or air-driven hand pieces. And you can find a lot of things here, but this particular page is an auction, so it's gonna sell in 17 hours. What's the point of linking it? So I'm sorry about that, but that is the best place to buy hand pieces. They're much more expensive on Amazon. Definitely check eBay. Now I want to talk about the price of the micromotor. So over here is the exact micromotor that I have linked before. This is exactly the micromotor that I have, and the handpiece as well. And there are different options to buy the handpiece and the micromotor. On this page you can buy either the micromotor, handpiece separately, or you can buy them together. So the electric handpiece here costs $159. It's a little bit more than the air-driven handpieces. They're always more expensive, but they're also more heavy, and you see why they're different. It's a lot more machinery in one thing. So that's $159. The micromotor alone costs $239, but you can buy a bundle, both of those things, for $351, which is about the same as buying all the pieces of the 3-unit air-driven compressor, which I calculated to be $317 as of what I found today. And that is everything I wanted to mention today about my compressors. I think I milked this subject as much as I could because I have different videos and different formulations all about my compressors. So I think this is the last video I will ever make on my compressors, and I hope you find it complete. I hope you don't need any more help with that. So please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed what I showed you today. I will make more videos on bench test prep if I manage to set up my camera. It's extremely difficult, but I now feel at least like my hand skills are strong enough so I can show you how to prepare for bench test, how to prep. So stay tuned for that, and meanwhile, enjoy your day, and I'll see you in my next video.